Hey everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. In light of those horrific mass shootings that took place over the weekend, Maine gun shop owners are weighing in on what they think needs to change.
Plus, we want to know what you think needs to change regarding gun violence in America. Grab your phones and join the conversation.
Also tonight, remember last week we found out that your personal conversations with your assistant Siri were sometimes listened to by real people, but there's a way to shut that off? Well, now we're learning that your conversations with Alexa might be listened to as well, but there's a way to shut that off too, and we'll explain tonight. This is News Center Now.
Monday evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson. We start our broadcast this evening with something that has been on a lot of people's minds over the weekend and into the week, those two mass shootings that took place. On Saturday, as you know, a gunman opened fire inside a crowded Texas Walmart, killing 22 and wounding more than 20. Early Sunday morning, then a gunman attacked a popular Dayton, Ohio nightclub, killing 9 and injuring 26 more.
This is prompting our nation's leaders on both sides of the aisle to weigh in on what needs to be done to put an end to gun violence. Many Democrats are pushing for stricter gun laws, including making changes to improve how the background check process works.
This is something President Trump echoed in a tweet this morning, and now gun shop owners here in Maine are talking about it as well. Samantha York is live outside of Top Gun in Poland. And Sam, it sounds like these concerns surrounding background checks are not new to the shop's owner there.
Yeah, no, in fact, Joe Cimino, the president of Top Gun here in Poland, says that it's a problem and it can make his job extremely difficult. He says the way the FBI does background checks right now works, but there are flaws to the system. For example, he says information about the buyer not coming back in a timely fashion or accurately can lead to problems down the road. As far as mental health is concerned, which has become a huge part of this debate, Cimino says gun shop owners don't have access to those types of records, and with HIPAA laws in place, it's not likely that information would be able to be released to them anyway. So how can we avoid guns getting into the hands of the wrong people? Well, Cimino says there isn't just one answer, but that's one of the most crucial parts of his job. He will begin profiling someone looking to purchase a gun as soon as they approach the property. He says some people may have a problem with that, but it's the best way to make sure that the person looking to buy a gun has good intentions, especially knowing the background check system in place now isn't working.
As far as the background check, can it be improved? Absolutely. I think the FBI would agree that there are certain areas on the background check for information that they're not privy to. So before you go tinkering with a system with 30,000 rules, we'd certainly like to fix the system as it is right now and try to improve on the system.
Now, I also talked to Cimino about his thoughts on banning certain types of firearms, specifically AR-15s, AK-47s, firearms that we are seeing used more and more in these tragic mass shootings. And he says that he's not sure how banning one specific style of weapon will do anything when there are other guns that people can purchase that look different but do the same thing. Guys, back to you.
All righty, Sam, thank you very much. So, a couple more cities add their names to a growing list of communities in mourning, remembering the innocent victims and searching for answers.
Saeed Salih, Derek R. Budge.
We're here to honor the families.
We just got dressed and decided to go shopping. Next thing you know, active shooter situation.
I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but it's a blow to the foundation that we stand on and that what we built here for our families and for our kids.
She was there. We haven't heard from her since.
And then I heard 2 more shots. One of them hit him. He went down in front of me.
I just thank God that they were able to alert us in time, because if it had been 10 minutes more, we all would have been outside.
They're trained to go out to fight and to protect, and that's what he did. He died a hero.
Now I'm starting to realize how lucky I am, and how big of a moment that was.
God knows what he's doing. The reasons behind it, we'll never know. Why it happened to those people, but he has a reason. He has a reason for everything.
We don't want a shooting to be our legacy. We want to show that we're stronger than that and we're better than that.
We shouldn't wait for something to happen to our family. We should act now.
May we always be Dayton strong.
These mass shootings are a reflection of who we are and who we have been. It's not good enough for us to say we're better than this, because we haven't been. But we could be.
Logan Turner, Nicholas B. Coomer.
So, obviously, clearly, these shootings have been topic number 1 on social media. If you log onto really any social media platform, there's a very good chance you'll see a lot of posts about this. Our social media pages have been flooded with comments by people, many pertaining to how we treat mental health. Others are calling for restrictions on gun ownership.
And we want to know what you think. We're continuing the conversation from this morning. Do you think America's gun violence is fueled by mental health? Is it a lack of gun control? Is it a mix of both? Or is it neither of the two? Vote right now at pulse.newscentermaine.com. We also have the tab on our mobile app. Also, feel free to join the conversation right now on our Facebook and YouTube live streams. We'll be looking for those.
We will indeed. All right, it's time to turn our attention to the weather. Keith is standing by with what really has been just about a picture-perfect day, I'd say, Keith.
I thought it was gorgeous. Jess said she thought it was a little cool out.
Well,
she was getting,
Jess.
Getting a little worried about, oh, she's not even there for me
This
to.
morning was cool. It was.
It was,
yeah.
yes. And actually, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But now it's not, though. I mean, come on. Mid-70s, low 80s in a lot of spots. The air is dry. That's the biggest change. 79 in Bangor, and Dover Foxcroft sitting at 82. So, when you get the dew points suppressed down into the 40s as they are right now in most places, in low 50s, then yeah, that air mass feels comfortable, and in the morning it feels coolish, which we'll see again overnight tonight. Humidity will be back, though, through the middle of the week, and you'll be wishing for this air again. Visible satellite looking clean, really no cloud cover at all. When you have the air mass this dry, you need a system to come through, cold front, warm front, low pressure system, to give us clouds, because the atmosphere by itself doesn't want to produce them, I guess. It doesn't want to get that condensation going into the upper atmosphere. All right, here we go. High pressure in place still. Another nice day tomorrow. It's going to be warmer tomorrow than today, even though it's coolish tonight into the 50s in a lot of spots by tomorrow morning. We get cooking tomorrow afternoon. Away from the coast, I think we'll be in the mid-80s pretty squarely. There will be an ocean influence that will keep the coastline into the 70s. But guys, for the first time in what seems like 4 weeks, we have perhaps 2 days in a row of unsettled weather. So what shall we do with ourselves? We'll talk about it in just a few minutes.
Uh-oh. Can't wait to see what that entails. Thanks, Keith. All right, some health news tonight. The rate of people dying from heart disease has increased in the United States. Australian researchers studied trends in mortality rates from heart disease and stroke in 23 high-income countries since the year 2000. The rate has essentially stalled in half of those nations, but in the U.S., the rates have actually increased. Scientists say obesity and poor diets may be contributing factors to that increase.
And now that he is no longer facing criminal charges, actor Kevin Spacey apparently feels a bit more comfortable about being back in the public eye. In Rome over the weekend, he was out reading poetry. Spacey has kept a very low profile since sexual assault allegations first emerged against him in 2017. He was accused of sexually assaulting an 18-year-old young man at a bar on Nantucket in 2016. Spacey right here recorded on cell phone video reciting The Boxer by Gabriele Tinti, which is about a boxer lamenting the loss of his once illustrious career. All right, quick break coming up. After that, we're going to dive back into the discussion about how people are listening to our recordings occasionally on our personal assistants, like Siri.
Very dangerous. And yes, now, if you have an Alexa, you too will be able to privatize your account. We'll tell you how. Checking in on our Pulse results tonight so far. What is America's gun violence issue fueled by? Right now, the majority, 55% saying mental health issues. And that really goes in line with the comments, hundreds of comments on our Facebook post about this at News Center Maine's Facebook page. Mostly have to do with mental health.
New ones coming in right now on that
Facebook,
too. Yeah.
yes. And we are talking during the commercial break on Facebook Live. And I do challenge our viewers and those who are joining the conversation to elaborate and maybe explain why it is you picked one over the other.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
One that needs to happen. All right, we'll move on to some more news now. Amazon is responding to customer concerns that some of its workers listen to Alexa audio recordings. So, following the lead of Apple and Google, Amazon now says customers can opt out of having their Alexa voice recordings reviewed by third parties. But you'll have to manually delete Alexa recordings. So how do you do that? Well, you go to Menu Settings and you tap Alexa Privacy. Then you tap Manage How Your Data Improves Alexa, and turn off the toggle next to Help Improve Amazon Services and Develop New Features. All right, users can also delete their voice recordings through the Alexa app or the Amazon website.
We do post our entire show on YouTube after it airs, so if you need to go back and follow those directions.
Yeah,
check
and
out
I'm
YouTube.
sure you can just search how to do it too, and it comes up maybe even easier than we just explained it.
Sure. Very good.
All right, coming up, how a piano in a park helped give somebody a new purpose.
And Keith's giving us his full forecast coming up.
So we've had a lot of heavy topics so far in this broadcast. We're going to lighten things up for you a little bit. To a city in Connecticut, Milford, where they put a piano out in a public space, and it's really changing things in that community.
Yeah, those piano keys are unlocking a whole lot more than you think, not just musical talents. Heidi Voigt has this story.
This summer sounds different in downtown Milford. Players young and old, friends and strangers finding the right notes together. Exactly what piano tech Gina Bonfietti had hoped for when she installed this free street piano on the green.
I just thought it would be a great way to kind of bring people together. I mean, Milford is a great city, but if we could make it even greater, why not?
But for one particular player out here every day, it's about so much more than just finding a melody. It's about finding himself again.
Every time I see a piano, it's kind of like I'm drawn to it. I can't not play it.
Since he was 5 years old, Andrew Bestersea has been fascinated by the ivories.
It's a beautiful thing. It's 88 keys and it's infinite possibilities. Infinite. It's really amazing.
What's even more amazing is this soulful 22-year-old is completely self-taught.
It's really one of the only ways I really learned how to express my emotions in a certain way.
But there was a time when the music stopped. After losing his grandmother, Andrew's life took a turn.
When she passed on, Andrew lost a good person in his life because his grandmother was with him all the time.
He was lost, his dad says, until this painted Wurlitzer showed up on the green.
And his music dropped off. But when Gina put this piano in on a Thursday evening, Andrew's life came together.
I got off the bus and I looked and there was a piano and there wasn't the day before. So I'm like, wow, that's cool.
He's been here every day since.
It's wonderful. He's smiling again.
And he's quickly becoming a fan favorite. Andrew's getting offers for local gigs. And now he wants to go back to school to pursue his passion.
It's so wonderful how people are so caring and give my son a chance to become something. I'm proud of him. Very proud of him.
All because of a piano.
How could something like this be beneficial for other people like you?
Oh, it could be beneficial for everyone. Music is a beautiful thing. I mean, it heals people. It saves people's lives. It takes people and takes their anger and turns it into love, into pain and sadness just from hearing just notes, from vibrations. It's really amazing.
88 keys, infinite possibilities.
Wow.
Love that idea.
Yeah.
Again,
I wish I didn't give up on the piano lesson so fast.
Stuck to the drum.
There's
kept
still
it simple.
time. There's
yeah,
still
there
time.
is. You can still learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little easier when you're like a kid, though. Yeah. Let's have a look at our morning lows. We talked a little bit about this just a moment ago, but we got to 42 in Berlin, 45 in Rangeley. So there was a crispness to the air. 49 in Bangor early this morning. If you got up, 5 o'clock or so when we get those morning lows. But we rebounded, had a huge, what they call diurnal temperature swing from the morning low to the afternoon high. So we did up in the upper 70s and low 80s by later in the day, and it was pretty nice. Dew points low, that's what gave you that crisp feeling. And even in the middle of the day with the sun and being 80, 81 degrees, I thought at least it was still comfortable, and that's because of those low dew points in the 40s and 50s. Satellite's clean. We're going to go right through that because nothing's going on with that. Our forecast keeping you clear overnight tonight. Temperatures drop, but not quite as much as last night. So a lot of 50s, not nearly as many 40s, though, by early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's a nice day. Again, I think this model is underestimating the inland temperatures tomorrow afternoon. I think we'll actually be in the mid-80s. Here, Lewiston, Augusta, Bangor, Freiburg. The coastline will be in the 70s because of an ocean influence, a sea breeze that sets out pretty early there. So that's accurate, I think. We cloud up late in the day, a couple of showers here overnight into Wednesday. And what happens on Wednesday and Thursday is we've got two disturbances moving through. Unfortunately, they're moving very slowly, and so we've got a couple of days of scattered showers, much more scattered on Wednesday than Thursday. You can see in the afternoon there's more shower activity around, temperatures upper 70s and low 80s, more humid as well, and then eventually that swings out of here. So it's not a terrible pattern, but it's been a while, it seems, since we had two unsettled days in a row. Again, I'll choose Wednesday over Thursday because I think Thursday is when we set up with a little more moisture, but we got kinked in the jet stream here, and that's what keeps us from that progressive flow. That's what was giving us nice weather, is we kept things moving. So you'd get a front, it would come through, then you'd be back on the other side again. When things get blocked a little bit more like this, you have a better chance of showers lingering over a certain period of time. But still, I mean, look, it's not bad. And at this point, I'm like a 7 out of 10 on the weekend right now. I'm not as high as I had been in previous weekends, but it's just a mountain shower on Saturday. We're probably good. Partly cloudy on Sunday. But I'm just not as all in on it yet as I was on other ones because there's stuff on either side of it that I need to watch. By the way, cool down stays through the weekend. Mid next week, probably back to legitimate summer. I mean, not that this is summer. But
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take it. Sounds good, Keith.
Summer is the perfect time for road trips, and a young man from Ohio is helping his grandmother visit almost every U.S. national park.
Yeah, that's a lot of parks, right? It is a road trip they actually started more than 3 years ago together, and recently they checked Acadia National Park off the list. That is when Brad Ryan's grandma, Joy, was 85 years old. She told him that she'd never seen a mountain or the ocean. Wow, 25,000 miles later. That has certainly changed for Joy, who's now 89. Acadia marked National Park number 29 for the pair. There are 58 national parks, so they have a ways to go. You can follow their journey by searching the hashtag Grandma Joy's Road Trip.
And I actually did go through searching that on Instagram. The look on her face when she sees some of these sites is just amazing. Really it's awesome. Really a pick-me-up if you need it.
Having not seen an ocean or a mountain through 85 years, that's really something.
I know. And now she's seeing it all more than most of us will see.
All right, Cindy's here to tell us what's going on at 5:30. Howdy.
Hi there. You guys may have seen the headlines saying that we have had 250 mass shootings this year. Well, we want to be really clear about that because it depends on how you define mass shootings. It's not wrong, it just needs a little explanation, and we're going to have that for you coming up on Newscenter at 5:30. Also, Bruce Poliquin says he is not going to be running for Congress next year, which came as a surprise to some people. We'll tell you why he's sitting this one out. Plus, a glimpse into the future. This is a flying car, folks. A prototype takes to the air in Japan. How soon would these be mainstream? We're going to find out at 5:30. Back to you.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't
to
it be
just
cool?
surpass the traffic?
Yeah, no pilot either. It's all GPS.
Oh, okay.
Kind of fun.
Very
All right, very interesting.
None of those crazy male drivers on the road anymore.
Right, yes.
We'll see you guys at 5:30. We're back with Raindrops after this. All right, one last check of our Pulse poll results tonight. I'm hearing myself. I don't know if you hear me too. 57% saying mental health is one of the factors fueling the gun violence in America. So thank you for joining the conversation, especially on Facebook as well.
And I was saying on Facebook, we'll narrow the question next time. I think it was not a great question because there are suicides, there's homicides, there's mass shootings. They're all
Difference between gun violence and mass shooting.
Statistically, hugely different. Okay, so Braindrops today, sometimes some of my best ideas come from online hating. And this is a perfect example of it. So I posted, we got the warmest July on record in Maine, and this individual who is constantly at me on the denying side of things. Remember 2015 February? Nah, because it's forgotten already. Okay, so 2015 February was the coldest February on record in Portland.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, this is a good idea. Let me go back and look over the past 20 years, how many top 10 warmest months have we had and how many top 10 coldest months have we had. So from 1999 to now, how does this stack up? All right, let's roll the footage. So we've had one of the coolest in January, and we can go through these quickly, guys. You can just pop through them. One top 10 coolest in February, none in April, one in May, one in June, one in July, and then 0 in August. Okay. And how many top 10 warmest months have we had then in the past 20 years? Let's just roll straight through this because this could take a while. A lot. 5, 6, 8, 5, 8, 4, 5, 5. I won't make you do the math on this. We did it for you. So the end result of all this is we have had 65 top 10 warmest months in the past 20 years and 9 top 10 coolest or coldest. So remember, and this is the key, and this is why I say, hey, look, a week of hot weather doesn't show you climate change. And I don't like when people misinterpret that and just jump on this. However, the trend does, right? And so this is a perfect example of it being more than 7 times more hot records than cold records. And that's really what you need to know. We will have cold months in Maine. We'll have top 10 cold months probably still over the next couple of years. But the rate of it is going to be hugely different. And that's what you need to look at. So when it gets cold in January, that doesn't mean this isn't a thing. It may feel that way because it's what you want it to be, but this is kind of how the trend works.
Sure.
It's not one line, it's little squiggles along the way.
That flaming 65 is just like burned in my brain now.
It was a little much, it was, but it looks great.
You got your point across. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.